Before you click the timestamp to move on to the shops, there is important information that you need to know. The 1.8 economy patch changed workshops and how well they make money, which is why I've released one video since, and it's been 4 months since my last one. Figuring out a reliable system has been the issue, and I think I have finally figured out a great solution. I'm going to rank each shop from best to worst overall for each patch, as we've seen that the patches can drastically change the profit a certain shop can make. This video is shared with my how to pick a perfect workshop in 4 easy steps, which will be linked at the end of the video in the description and in a pinned comment. When you watch that video, you will be able to pick your own shops yourself. Then you just watch the patch workshop video to see what shops are doing best for that patch. I tested 14 different situations in the game for each shop, such as having connected villages, competition close by or in the same town, having no input, or too much input. I took all of them, tested them one at a time by prosperity as well, running 20 tests for each shop for over a year to get a decent average. That was over 50 hours of testing. So I am confident that my order is going to be pretty accurate. As I've said, there are over a dozen factors that can drastically impact what your workshop makes, such as low input, armies taking goods, castle-bound villages being taken, villages being raided, and more. So having a town go from 400 a day to 0 in a week is always possible, and the how to pick a workshop video explains all of that. This is just to point out to what shops are performing the best each patch overall, not in any specific situation. You can't just put a number on a shop anymore, as you can run it 100 times and get 100 different results. So ranking each one makes the most sense. I've broken down the 11 shops into 4 categories: good, decent, okay, and bad. I will run through each shop in the category and give a very brief explanation as to why it is performing that way or what is required to make it perform better, so you understand what you need or don't need to do to make money. The hope is that you won't see any more of that 0 profit a day. You can look and figure out what action you need to take to solve it. Thank you for listening, and here are the best performing shops overall in patch 1.0.3. For good, we have 2 shops, and it was tough picking the best overall, but the nod will go to the Silversmith. It is best overall in terms of profit, but suffers from 2 issues. First, jewelry can build up, requiring you to buy it to drive the price back up. Second, there are only 2 towns that have connected silver villages: Ortesia and Diathma. Every other one is connected to a castle, so if that castle gets taken, you will lose that input. And Diathma is also tricky, as a bandit base spawns right next to the village. Second goes to the winery. Tailworld made a change, and for some reason, they are making amazing profit. And while they are more stable than the Silversmith, they also suffer from one major issue. Most all the grapes are located in about 25% of the map in Botania and the Belandia area, which can saturate the area. However, I have put wineries further away with towns of high prosperity, and have had amazing results. Supplying grapes to a winery in a high prosperity town far away can be a huge moneymaker. In the decent category, first we have Velvet Weaveries. They are good with or without input. They also suffer with a lot of their input being in one major area that can get saturated, so watch them closely. Next, we have Old Faithful, the wool weavery. They are still very viable and are great at set and forget about them. The one issue that I've had with them in testing is they did very well in Kuzite territory. But when I tested them outside in places like Poros, Galland, they didn't seem to do as well. So take that into consideration. Finally, we have the oil press. They have good potential as oil seems to get consumed like wine does, but in testing, they didn't perform as well. The one big caution is they are also highly saturated in a close area, so be careful to watch them as the price can get driven down. First in the okay category are tanneries. They are the most reliable for low to medium profits and can be left alone for low profit, but if micromanaged, they can do medium profit. They are safe but can frustrate you from time to time, making low profit if they are not watched. Next is the linen weavery. They do not have to have input close by to perform okay. Also need to buy some of the output as it can build up very quickly, and a decent amount of prosperity can make good money. So if you have high prosperity and you can micromanage, they can make great money. But if you don't do all of that, they can make very little money and you might want to avoid them. Next is the pottery shop. These can make great money, but need to be perfectly placed. They need their input close by. You need to buy a little bit of their output and have some prosperity. But if any of those are missing, or if there are shops close by, the pottery shop can tank in profit very quickly. Finally on the list is the brewery, which can be a shock to people. They have many issues. There is so much grain all over the map that a ton of towns have breweries defaulted at the start of the game, driving the global average down. Beer is produced at a very high rate, which can also drive down the price in your towns. While breweries have a high potential to make more than velvet or wool breweries, they just require way too much micromanagement, need to be perfectly placed, and that is why I call them a trap shop that, if not handled correctly, can absolutely frustrate you with constant zeros every day. In the bad category, we have wood workshops. For some reasons, Tailworld still haven't addressed the wood workshop issue, as they produce items and they are put into the trader. And your profit is based on these items being consumed. Their consumption rate is terrible, having them under 100 a day on a constant basis. I would avoid them till Tailworld fixed the issue with more things being consumed in a town. And last on our list is a smithy. They suffer from all of the things that a wood workshop does, but they have one major issue to them. They need iron ore. And while Tailworld reduced the iron ore consumed per day by a smithy, they also lowered the production rate of iron ore from villages. So they gave them a buff and a nerf in the same patch for some reason. The bigger issue is iron ore is so cheap that caravans swoop them up all the time, making your shop go idle frequently. With all of that said, they are easily the worst shop in the game. There are your 11 shops from best to worst in patch 1.0.3 and what you might need or not need to do to help them out. So this is just showing you what is best overall in testing throughout the entire world and in multiple situations. If you want to find out how to pick the perfect workshop in 4 easy steps that pairs with this video, then click here so you can learn and find them yourself and what really matters, and never wonder again how to pick the perfect workshop for yourself. Until patch 1.1.0, take care and thanks for watching.